What I'm about to go and do is illegal in the UK. Right then, welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk today a little bit about wild camping. I arrived here about midnight last night and I'm here in the Peak District. And like I said at the start of the video, what I'm doing right now is illegal. There's different rules across the UK. In Scotland, it's generally allowed. There's places in Dartmoor, it's generally allowed. But for the vast majority of the UK, unless you've got permission from the landowner, this is illegal. This is trespass, really. So this is wild camping. It's just me, my gear, my sleeping bag, my roll mat, on the edge of a cliff, on the edge of the Peak District, in about 3 degrees of weather because it's freezing. I have got a brew though, so it's keeping me warm up here while I do this. It's something that a lot of people ask about, don't really know about, unsure about the rules, unsure about what the fact it is illegal actually means in the grand scheme of things. Like, am I going to go to jail if the police rock up here now? No, I'm not, is the short answer. But the bottom line is, this is mega. This is such a mental reset. Being out here at dawn, out in the elements, that the camera's shaking. Like, this isn't a Hollywood studio. This is real life. This is, the channel is called Howson in real life. This is real life. It's me on my own with a camera, which is wobbling because of how windy it is, and it's cold up here this morning. I haven't just come up here to sort of bend the rules, break the rules. This is about reconnecting. This is about getting out of those comfortable little lives with central heating and duvets and Netflix and actually experiencing life a little bit. There's something real about watching the sunrise, and I've been awake since dawn. I've literally seen all the way up through to setting up and recording. I've literally come up here with the intention of recording this video as the dawn breaks. And when you're in a tent, well, the dawn's the best alarm clock in the world, man, because you ain't sleeping through it. This isn't very thick. You see right through it straight away. I mean, this view is outrageously good. This is sensational. Like, you can't buy what my eyes are seeing now. I mean, I can see Manchester over there, probably not far off Sheffield over there. Like, this is absolutely beautiful. Honestly, it is. It's just absolutely beautiful. And like I said, this isn't about being cheeky, bending the rules and getting a little bit leery. Oh yeah, look at us being illegal. This shouldn't be illegal. Especially in national parks, this shouldn't be illegal. How is this illegal? The one important thing that I will say, even if you only make it this far in the video, if you're going to go wild camping, you have to obey one rule. The number one rule. Leave no trace. When I leave here in an hour or so, I've had some breakfast, got rid of this video, you won't know I was here. You can walk past here 1 minute after I've left and not have a clue I was here. There's nothing. There'll be nothing. You might see a tiny little 1 centimetre hole in the ground where my tent pegs have been. But that's it. Leave no trace. Leave no scars on the earth. Certainly leave no rubbish. I think that's the one thing which annoys people about those who end up wild camping, is quite often it's young lads that take a load of cans and go and have a drink with their mates. I'm all about having a drink with your mates, but leave no trace, lads. And no one's going to have an issue with you doing it. That's the top and bottom of it. So last night, under the stars for a little bit, because it did get cloudy, I didn't really get to see that many stars. No distractions, nothing planned, just basic survival stuff. It's a proper mental reset. And there's not really a lot of phone signal up here as well, so I don't really get mithered too, which is always a bonus. So like I was saying, in the UK, wild camping isn't just discouraged, it is technically illegal, unless you have permission from the landowner. Like I said, there's exceptions. Scotland, for example, most of Scotland you're able to just pitch up and wild camp, obviously as long as you follow a few guidelines. And also Dartmoor, down in the southwest, you got a few spots in Dartmoor that you can go and wild camp. But we're not exactly welcome to pitch wherever we like in the rest of the UK. Like here, for example, I could get moved on from here, and that's generally what happens when you're wild camping. Now here's not too bad, Kinder's not too bad, and there's a few other spots locally that aren't too bad. Snakewood, not too far from here, that's a bit iffy. You get the likes of United Utilities and that, because they are the landowners around there. They come up on a night, usually just around dusk, and move people on. It happens. And it's funny how quiet it can be out here. And I mean, obviously it's quiet. I can't hear the road. There's a road maybe 2 kilometres away. I can see it. I can't hear it. All I can hear is the wind. I haven't seen a person yet. It is early though. It's about 7:30. But it is early. I would expect to see some dog walkers soon. I'm about 600 metres up here, so I'm technically on the top of a mountain. It doesn't feel like it. It's a bit of a hill really, but I'm technically on the top of a mountain because my elevation here is 600 metres. And it's cold. That feels like I'm on the top of a mountain. But I like these little quiet mornings like this. It becomes addictive. Makes you want to do it again. Every little time that I get to come out here and do stuff like this reminds me of why I like doing stuff like this. Because it's mega, man. And it's even better with mates, and it's even better with family. But on your own, it ain't bad. Just come out here, no distractions. I'm watching a sunrise, man. How many of us do that enough? This feels like stepping back in time a little bit to a place where we didn't have houses and homes and internet and electricity and comfort, walls and deadlines and the nonsense that we get in our day-to-day lives. And I've had some rough moments in life. Obviously, service it has its ups and its downs. You could argue some of the ups and downs in military life quite extreme. And for a long time, I probably shied away from acknowledging my military and service life. You almost want to justify your decision in leaving, so you don't engage with the community and you don't do things like this because it reminds you of the time in uniform. And it's been a long journey, I think, for me since leaving to sort of reconnect with my brothers that I serve with, reconnect with my identity, and I think the identity is a big one. I had a proper mental health wobble about 3.5 years ago, actually. I have spoken about it online before, and it was the lowest point. It was a low point. I didn't want to be here, top and bottom of it. But what I've done since then, very deliberately, because I'm a bad planner. Like, I'm not in sense like I plan badly. Like, I obsessively plan. I got spreadsheets for days, man. And what I did was I'd sort of evaluated everything that was going on about who I am, what I do, what it says about me, how I feel about it. And therapy helped that. I had therapy with the Military Veterans Society or Service, Military Veterans Service, I think it's called. And it was brilliant. And you're only allowed to do 20 sessions or something like that with them, which I did with a wonderful woman called Alice. And after I got discharged from that, they put me onto the NHS one. And I lasted 2 sessions with the NHS one, and I couldn't do it. Wasn't me. The military veterans one was fantastic, and I would recommend that to anyone in the military or former military that's struggling with anything. And it helped me sort of realign what I needed to do. And from that moment in 2021, I went and got my operation to fix my calves, something that I'd been dealing with for my entire adult life. The army kept giving me insoles for it, needed an operation. And I've started to slowly turn things into where I want it to be. I've reconnected with my military identity. I've reconnected with people I serve with. I've reconnected with nature in a way, doing stuff like this, because I couldn't do it when I had the compartment syndrome. I couldn't hike. I couldn't do more than a couple of miles because my calves would lock up, and it was like 9 out of 10 pain. It was like leg break pain, and you just didn't want to do anything, and that contributed to the weight gain. Wasn't the only reason. And obviously, when you're not happy and you're depressed and you're chasing dopamine, really, trying to find meaning in stuff that's not going to have it, and there was clearly some level of dopamine in Monster and Red Bull, and I obviously got addicted to it. I mean, of all the things I could have got addicted to, it's pretty mild at the end of the day. No, it wasn't drugs or alcohol. You know, I haven't drank properly in a while, to be honest, but I do like a beer, but it's never consumed me in a way like, you know, Red Bull did, which is just like such a mad thing to be sort of addicted to. And I feel like I've started to turn these things around. And obviously I'm on a bit of a weight loss journey at the moment, which is going genuinely a lot better than I ever imagined it could do. Which means I've got the energy, I've got the fitness to be able to come and do stuff like this more often. You know, there's a bit of a hike in here to do this last night. You know, I'm caked in shit. I couldn't have done that 50, 60 pounds ago. It just wouldn't have happened. So coming out here and doing stuff like this helps. You know, it took me a while in the journey to sort of connect back to doing this. But me and Janine have camped for, I'd say, a good 10 years together. But these wild ones, not so much, because of the regulations and the rules around them. But it's that sort of alone time, no music, no headphones, just come out here. And you don't come out here necessarily, or I don't at least, you might. I don't come out here necessarily with the intention of be like, right, let's have a proper think and sort my shit out. It doesn't really work like that, does it? You just kind of sit here and in the silence, listening to the wind, the things that are on your mind naturally gravitate towards the front of your mind, and you weigh them up. And you weigh them up in an environment where you're not under pressure. You know, someone grabs you and is like, right, make a decision right now. What are you going to do? You won't ever make the right decision because there's too much pressure. So this is a nice pressure release valve. Come out here, do this, get my tent up. Even stuff like, it's honestly, it's so cold, my hands are freezing. There's something real about that. Kind of lets you know you're still here, you know what I mean? Still fighting. And I don't know if you get a weird little sense of dopamine for having completed these. You know, you come out here for a night, you show you've got that sort of resilience to push through. It's only a night camping, but you know, you're self-reliant, aren't you? Did I bring enough warm kit? Just about, I would say. Did I bring enough water? Well, yeah, we're nearly out though. It is accomplishing something, even if it's something very small. And do you know what? I'm a bit of a contrarian. Kind of like being my own little beat, doing my own shit, being a bit of an outlaw. All right, hardly robbing banks out here, am I? But, you know, bit of a buzz about that, I guess. And there's definitely something in watching the horizon as dawn breaks, as the sun starts to rise, as it starts to warm up, which I thought it would have done already by now. There's something about watching that first light. You know, every sort of problem that you've got, every issue, every little struggle makes it all worth it, you know what I mean? Especially like the uncomfortable, cold, windy hike through the swamp that I had to do to get up here. Small victory, innit? You know, against the rules, against comfort, against whatever is going on in your head. 1-0. Up the fucking ticks. I think it's nearly time for me to go. But I just wanted to sort of sit here and talk to you about wild camping a little bit because it is something I get questions on from you. And I hope I answered that. Felt like I rambled a little bit. Why wild camp? Well, yes, it's illegal, but you're not going to go to jail. The worst that'll happen is they'll ask you to move on, and you move on. It'd be great if there was just a desire from the government and landowners to see the land used by the right people, by people who love the land, who love nature, who love coming out and experiencing this sort of stuff. Feels like it's the sort of thing that's going to go away at some point, which will be sad if it does, because you don't get to experience the raw beauty of that. This landscape's mental. Like I said, I could probably see maybe 50-mile radius or something. Manchester's maybe 15, 20 away. There's some bigger hills over there. So I'm going to finish my brew. I'm going to pack up, and as I pack up, I'm just going to have a think about, all the people who've camped out here before, all the people who lived out here, the people who settled this area and thought it was a good place to sort of live, and how they managed it. What did the Romans do when they was kicking about round here? Wearing sandals and kin togas and shit. Surely they couldn't have been rocking that round here. And like I said, I know when I leave, I won't be leaving a trace. And that's a bit of a thrill, knowing I've come here, I stayed here for the night. No one's got a clue. No one's going to have a clue. There'll be no trace, no mark, no scar on the land, no litter, no rubbish, nothing. Just this. I guess this now. And it's temporary, innit? Just like us.